YouTube, what is going on? We are back with another Wuthering Waves video. We are playing Wuthering Waves, and Arikado Zodan made a video titled Wuthering Waves has an endgame problem. Now, I will be honest with you, I do think it has an endgame problem. Now, my thought process is, I said this in the podcast when I was with Saint, Legion's Cap, and all of them, where I feel like it's not enough. It's not enough. We have Wiwa, which is just really bad. It's just not fun. It's not a good time. But you have Wiwa, you have TOA. They're both on monthly resets. And I'm just being transparent when I say this. As a grown-ass man, I think Augusta looks great. I think Yuno looks great, 1,000%. However, I cannot justify spending $500 to $1,000 to get these characters and their weapons just to play them in TOA, and then it resets a month, and then a month later someone else comes out. They have great events that they don't bring back. We've never seen the hologram boss rush back again, which we need to see. We need to see that come back. We also need the tower event to come back again. And realistically, there should be some sort of hologram boss rush just in itself, right? I'm not even asking for new game modes. I'm literally asking you to just bring back the old shit, or for fuck's sake, just make TOA bi-weekly again. So I do think there is an endgame issue. I absolutely fucking agree. I don't know what he is saying. I have heard that it's a little iffy. So we're going to see what Arikado says, and I am going to make a video essay on my thoughts about it more in depth. But I like Arikado. Also elusive. We need elusive, right? You know, the new version of the elusive is like low-key not gameplay. It's a clicking simulator. You can beat all the encounters. You get to a point where you can just immediately wipe them out. Like, it's just not, there's not enough gameplay. There's just not enough gameplay in this game. So let's see what it is. Well, let's get right into it. Oh, the tab's muted. Giggle.
Butterfly in the sky. I can go twice as high.
What up, Blazion? Wuthering Waves has an endgame problem.
Endgame content in gacha games is something that needs to be done right, as
True.
it is the primary source of content for any gacha game's core gameplay loop once the player has exhausted the game of its offerings during the launch version or during any given patch of the game.
100%.
With this in mind, Wuthering Waves has been struggling in this regard to offer satisfying endgame content since the initial release of the game and to this very day.
I think again, as I said, the problem is they have it, right? Like they legitimately have that content. It's not even a situation where they need to make new content. If you gave me that co-op hologram event back, actually, if you gave me the other co-op event where the last boss is Hecate, and you give me the tower mode, I'll never fucking complain again. I won't even complain about Depths of Elusive Realm. Straight up. No, not Virtual Crisis. There was another co-op event where you fight, and it's like 4 different stages, and the last stage was Hecate. They are, and they're cooking. They are cooking something, and I'm sure it's going to come back eventually one day. But right now, there, for a game that has such good and such fluid and such strong gameplay mechanics, it really is lacking on gameplay. And we're going to do the survey today as well. We're going to do survey today as well. But yeah, it's like, if you give me those 3 events, bro, I'm chilling. Like, I'm fucking chilling. I would wail on the game like OD. But I don't have a reason to wail right now. I really don't.
I want to go over why Wuba's endgame is bad and how it is a massive turnoff to
Based off the
players.
saturation.
Before I can get started, however, I need to outline the problems with the game's combat system first to set the scene.
Oh, okay.
After all, endgame content in any of these games is entirely focused on combat, the very foundation of the gameplay. If the game's combat system isn't good, then you cannot obfuscate the shortcomings of said combat with a bunch of endgame modes.
Okay, I'm interested to see where this goes, because I don't think the combat there's anything wrong with, personally. You know what I mean? I think the combat's actually really in a good spot, so... Okay,
So,
let's see.
Let's get to it.
Wuthering Waves combat.
We need to talk about the most damning thing that drags Wuba's combat down the most, the Concerto system. If you've already watched my video covering the misinformation being spread during Yuzaha's release in ZZZ, then you should already be familiar with this information.
Okay, I did not watch this video at all. No disrespect, obviously, I just didn't watch it. The Concerto system I'm trying to like. I personally don't think there's anything wrong with the concerto system. I think that sometimes people get caught up into the fact that maybe the only thing I could think of, I'm trying to be super charitable right now, is that what's happening is a lot of times people complain about quick swap not being optimal due to the fact that the outro effects go away from the concerto energy. But I personally don't see anything wrong with the concerto system itself. I actually kind of like it. I like that and the forte. I think it's very unique for the swaps. But even without the concerto system, quick swap is still readily available. Zhang Liao, Chang Li, Carlotta, Chang Li, fucking Cartethia could work with literally anyone. There doesn't really need to be concerto. So again, I think there is a genuine problem with the Wuthering Waves endgame, but I don't know. I'm going to let him cook. I'm going to let him cook. But I don't know what concerto energy has to do with this at all. I don't know. So we'll see.
But I will reiterate for those who did not see it. Every unit in Wuthering
Okay.
Waves has a circular meter to the left of their health bar,
True.
referred to as the Concerto
Very true.
energy meter.
I
That
can
fills up
confirm
in
this.
combat based on the action performed.
Yeah.
When full, swapping to a different character will have the exiting character perform an outro skill and the entering character perform an intro skill. Because of just how strong outro skills are in terms of their buffs on offer, Wuwa's combat demands you to play your teams and rotations around generating Concerto energy and receiving the incredibly strong team buffs from outro skills. Combined with needing to generate resonance energy to cast a unit's liberation, team rotations in Wuthering Waves are needlessly bloated and take way too long to go through to get to the fun part of the game where you can whack enemies with your DPS for a lot of damage. The ankle weight that is Concerto energy is so bad that weapons and character duplicates like the Variation and Stellar Symphony recidifiers, as well as Sequence Node 2 for
Resonance skill grants. Oh, this is S2 Verena.
Arena are worth their weight in gold in the WoWa community, and is
S2 Verena is great. Obviously, S2 Verena is fucking godly, right? Let's just be honest. Like, there's no denying that S2 Verena is amazing. Panda, I love you. I'm recording, but I love you, brother. Welcome in. Variation is obviously great as well because it helps with the concerto. There are ways around this though, and I think to say as a blanket statement that rotations are either not fun or I guess enjoyable / too long. I don't really know if I agree with that take, to be honest with you. Even putting quick swap to a side, we can get to quick swap in a moment. I just feel like it seems like a little bit of a personal preference, and I think that's 100% fine to have that personal preference. However, rotations are pretty fucking fast. Like, you can do certain rotations pretty quickly. Like, you can get to Carlotta's whole rotation in a decent amount of time and do half the health. And even, let's just say, if some rotations are a bit longer, right? Cartethia is a character who a lot of her damage is backloaded. If you are running her optimal team, you need to do Shiakona and Arrow Rover, kind of quick swap between those two, activate Shiakona, swap to Arrow Rover, whatever the fucking order is, go to Cardi, and then start going to town with her. But even if that rotation is a bit longer, at the end of the day, it pumps out such a large amount of damage that I still find it to be rewarding, and you don't really struggle with time. So I don't necessarily agree with this point. Again, obviously, I fucking love Arikado. I think if he dislikes it, I think that's okay. But I'm not going to say that Concerto energy is ruining the endgame. What's ruining the endgame is that there is no endgame. There's nothing fucking there. That's what's making the endgame whack. So I don't really know where we're going with this. And like a Jinsei rotation with the characters he's playing is very simple. It's very easy. You start with Jinsei, you do your 4 basics, you do your big boom. After you big boom, swap to Verena, you alt, E, Q, get her fucking forte mad quickly, go to Gigi, yada, 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 whatever the case may be. Like, it definitely does feel like a preference issue, which is fine, because if you prefer to not interact with Concerto energy, I think that's fair. But I'm not going to say that, yeah, it's just like whatever. Yeah, so okay.
is frequently recommended for players to look out for when on rated up event banners. Even everyone's favorite 4-star unit, Sanhua, is only really valued within the meta primarily for her high Concerto generation, making her one of, if not the fastest, rotation characters in the game. Concerto Energy is a system that greatly restricts the freedom of how you play your teams, and artificially inflates rotation times instead of having a genuinely interesting playstyle for support and sub-DPS characters that warrant the higher field times. Continuing on the topic of bloated rotation times, Wuwa's Resonance Liberation animations are just too slow. To help illustrate my point, I've got 2 videos from DYS Pro that compares ultimate times between the entire 5-star roster of Genshin Impact.
I don't know what this means. Does time stop when you burst? Does time stop? Like, does it stop? Am I bugging? Yeah, it does, right? Also, Noakes, I love you, brother. Welcome in. It does stop. Okay. In Genshin, you actually lose time. Yeah, no, in Genshin Impact, I remember a very big thread about Arlecchino's burst being the best looking burst in the game, but it was a DPS loss. Genshin Impact, you do not freeze time. Wuthering Waves, you don't lose time when you burst, which is why it's not a big deal. So again, like, the thing is, there is abso-fucking-lutely lack of combat. There is a lack of combat-focused stuff in Wuthering Waves right now. And I wish he would have honed in on that, because I don't think this is a gameplay issue. I think this is a preference issue on his part, which is very fair. I'm not going to sit here and tell him his preference is wrong. That'd be fucking crazy. But this is like, this is a little fucking wild, and I don't want to be a dick. I do not want to be a fucking asshole. But this clears a little fucking diabolical. And it just comes off. It just fucking comes off. And I'm being as charitable as nice as I can because I fuck with Arikado heavily. That I don't think he knew what the fuck he was doing here. I'm just gonna be honest. I feel like right now we're kind of getting into that. We're getting into that right here.
Roster of Genshin Impact
like, I don't
up
know.
to version 5.8, and every single character in Wuthering Waves up to version 2.3. I will not be using Honkai Star Rail for comparisons.
What up, Bossy? What up, baby? What up, Sora?
Game. And I will also be excluding Zenless Zone Zero, as ZZZ's combat system is not based on rotations and casting ultimates in the same way Genshin and Wuwa is. Here's a quick
maybe.
disclaimer,
No, I don't know.
but even with a possible margin of error, things should be pretty obvious.
The timer starts as soon as the animation begins and stops when the character becomes playable again. However, the timer might be slightly inaccurate in certain situations and may be based on personal interpretations. Okay, oh, man, I don't know. I don't know, bro. I was going into this video getting ready to shit on Wuwa. Like, straight up. Like, straight up, man. I ain't gonna lie to you. I was getting ready. No, I think this is person's talking about their time. I was getting ready to go in and shit on Wuwa. Because I think there's some fucking problems. I do, and I am going to make my own scripted video on it. Sasha, how are you? Welcome in. Have a great day today. But, yeah, man. All right, let's see.
For your convenience, I've transferred all animation times from the animation starting to when the player gets control of their character back to a notepad document. When looking at the rankings, it paints a very obvious picture with the entire 5-star roster of Genshin
I appreciate the follow, brother. Thank
having
you.
ultimate animations that are shorter than more than half of Wuthering Waves' entire 2.3 roster.
Well, okay, like... Ah, man, bro. Like, Yuhu's ult is not 5 seconds and 24 seconds, right? Yuhu's ult is probably taking 5 seconds if you don't automatically hit one of the things, would be my assumption. Alyssa, thank you so much for the resub. I appreciate the fuck out of you. Thank you, thank you, thank you so much. It means the world to me. Thank you. I appreciate you. I mean, and even if it is 5 seconds, I don't know. I don't use Yuhu. You gotta go fucking ask Rexlin. Even if it is 5 seconds, if the timer stops, it doesn't matter. You know what I mean? And I feel like maybe he was not under the awareness. I don't think he should take this video down. I want to make this very clear before someone tries to misconstrue this, because I already know it's gonna fucking happen. People are gonna say I bullied him into taking this video down, just like I said last time, which is bullshit. And I would love to fucking talk to him because I like the guy. I really fucking like the guy. I mean, actually, there's not really much to talk about. It's just his fucking opinion. But like, realistically speaking, this is not a problem. When you look at Arlecchino's ult, where is Arlecchino on this list? Arlecchino, Nuvalet's 2 seconds. Technically, he needs it, so that's not a DPS loss. Arlecchino's 1 minute and 54 seconds. If you Google Arlecchino DPS loss or look it up on Twitter, you will find tons of people fucking talking about that. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just insane. Lumi DPS, Ian Livrina clearing one of the bosses of TOA Tower. Yeah, I mean, it's just like, all right, man. Like, you know. Also, welcome in, 90. Welcome in. How are you? I don't know, brother. I don't know.
This entire 2.3 roster.
I don't know.
Even if you're using a character with a short animation time like Zani or Sanhua, it gets immediately canceled out by their best-in-slot teammates of Phoebe and Camellia, respectively, having some of the longest animation times of the entire roster. Maybe it's best the video was from version 2.3. I could easily see Cartithia's animations being a combined total of 8 seconds. The last thing I want to point out about...
Does anyone have a clip? I feel like I'm like gaslighting myself a little bit, but like it does pause during the ult, right? Like it does pause. Like the ult, like the timer. I'm not going crazy, right? Like I just want to make sure I don't want to say something. It does stop time, right? Like I'm not. It's pausing since 1.0. Okay, I just don't want to fucking like gaslight myself and like, you know, say something and it's not true, because like I'm 95% sure the ults have been pausing since day one. So pauses every time you use any form of an ult? Yeah, I don't know, Blaze. I don't know. Does Blood not know it pauses? It seems like that, and again, this is not like a fucking, I'm not going to shit on him because I think his Concerto concerns, you said it, Concerto concerns, that's fine. I don't agree with it, but I don't care. It's his fucking opinion, so it doesn't matter. But this is just like actively not correct, right? There's a difference between someone expressing their opinion, as we saw previously with the Concerto, not a big deal, don't agree, but I don't fucking care. Like, dude, fucking whatever. Like, that's your preference, that's 100% okay. But this is just like actually not true. So,
about Wuba's combat system,
thing, you know what I mean? What is this? 433.
Wins.
431. 431.
Sweep all the way.
It literally pauses time. Like it just fucking pauses time. You know what I mean? Like that was Cartethia. Thank you, mate. It just pauses time. This is a non-issue. This is a non-factor. It's a non-talking point. It doesn't mean anything. Pauses time. We're not going to roast him. We're not going to shit on him. We're just going to talk about this. Move on.
Inconsistent parry system.
Yeah.
Because of the inherent advantages.
Okay. No. Hold on. Sometimes the parry system is a little ass. I ain't gonna lie to you. Maybe it's a skill issue. I know I could say haha skill issue. Sometimes the parry system is a little fucking dog shit. I'm gonna keep it a stack. So I'm very curious to see what he says here. Skill issue, your mother's asshole. You gotta be fair. Don't fucking tell me skill issue, motherfucker, and fuck you, Wisdom. It's skill issue of yours, bucko. Fuck you, bitch. Okay, that's it.
And disadvantages between different units in terms of attack speed and frequency, there is a steep learning curve to Wuba's parrying that effectively keeps a majority of casual players out of being able to effectively use the system.
Okay.
In most cases, casual players will only ever perform parries by accident or by intentionally spamming out attacks with frequent, numerous active attack frames on certain characters that lets them brute force getting a parry. And before anyone says to just memorize one character's parry timings and just swap to them when needed, let me play the clip.
So it is inaccessible.
So you have 4 characters in your team. You press the number 1 on your keyboard and switch to a character that can.
Okay, so wait, hold on. Because I do think sometimes the parrying can be inconsistent, but I don't think that the parry system itself, to say that every character has different timing, means that it's flawed. Every character having different timing for the parries is supposed to provide a set of challenge, right? You know, remember playing 1.0, you try to parry with Concerto. It was hard. Parrying with Concerto was hard because it was a lot slower, right? You parry with Gion, it's a lot easier. To say that the parry system, I do think it would be cool if parry was a different button, but I think that'd be a little too much for the casual person, right? Parrying with Yinlin is a challenge, right? I think Yinlin gets a little wonky, right? But it's like, Unc Ethan has skill issues, fuck you, Brian. I don't think we can say the whole system in itself is flawed. Yeah, I don't know.
Can climb it.
Okay.
Oh God.
And so now I have to
So
memorize the precise geography, the precise fucking geological structure of the rocks to memorize and keep in mind which angle I am able to approach from based off the character model type. Is that not just a
couple
complete
different ways of
pain
doing
in
it.
the ass that doesn't really need to be there? It's now like
I didn't say there was a great
it's a memory
mechanic
check
that was
of
like the best thing ever.
It's like a memory check of like how can can I
have
remember
thoughts on this
what
too,
what
man.
angle the rock looks like from like the approach?
The Rock says
That's just a chore.
This is your reminder that there are more unique attack types.
I would never defend the pillar mechanic. However, I would also not expect casual players to memorize the parry timings of most of their characters in the combination with energy attacks. In combination with enemy attacks. Let me hear him what he says first.
Timings for units in Wuthering Waves for you to learn, then there is player models in Genshin Impact for you to learn how to climb a pillar. I could go on.
Okay. I don't think he's trying to be disingenuous here, and I'm not even going to say he is necessarily being disingenuous. There's a very stark difference between maining a character and then getting a new character and having to learn the parry times, which is something that could be... parries are done with every single fucking enemy in the game. Every enemy can be parried. There's no paywall mechanic behind that. And then with this conversation, they're talking about the fact that when you have to go on the rock, you either need a Natlan character or you have to jump on a specific geographical point of the rock in order to obtain the height to actually stun the boss in the abyss, right? This is for one shield boss in their endgame mode, which is fucking ass. So, again, look. Fucking, I'm not even gonna say like ZZZ's parry's easy because sometimes I miss those things because they're fast as fuck. Like, I don't think this is a ZZZ woo-woo bullshit. I could understand, again, saying sometimes it's just buggy because, like, hey, I know I hit that, but it won't go off, right? Or sometimes I'll fight a boss. Like, this happened a lot in the 1.0 days. I would parry and fucking die, right? But to go and say that you can't expect players to learn the mechanics of the game, and since they won't learn the mechanics of the game, the section starts with the parry system has a problem inconsistent. Is that inconsistence of the parry system, or is that inconsistence of the player using it? Right? Again, I think there is some validity to inconsistency. Sometimes it feels inconsistent. But the fucking narrative of it's inconsistent because I don't expect people to play the fucking game, that just doesn't make sense to me. And obviously this is not really like the gacha moment that I think anyone thinks that is. So I don't know, bro. Like, oh, fuck. I don't think they take the parry system seriously either. Also, it was good extreme. How you feeling, brother? I have no problem with parry systems. Well, it's because you're a god, brother.
I could go on about Wuwa's
There's literally both sides.
lackluster
Yeah, sure.
sound design for a large number of characters,
What's good, son of the sleep? How you feeling,
gradually
brother?
increasing visual clutter across newer units and teams, the shallow attribute system, or just how little echoes actually contribute to combat in a meaningful and engaging.
Echoes not contributing to combat is the biggest complaint that I have about the game. And that's what I think. Yo, MC, welcome in, brother. That's what I think Azure Premilia is going to exceed and eclipse Wuthering Waves in every single possible way. Everything else he's just saying, I don't know what the fuck bro's talking about. Respectfully.
Visual clutter across newer units,
Especially the elemental system thing. I don't think anyone wants it to be Genshin Impact. Now, you could say you don't like negative statuses. Again, I would agree with you. I would absolutely fucking agree with you. But and I definitely agree that the echoes are not really they're not really hitting the way that I would want them to. But Yeah, it's a little rough, man. I'll just let that. We'll breeze past
combat
that.
in a meaningful and
We'll breeze
engaging
past
way
that.
beyond a throwaway button press. But I think I've made my point. There's
Yeah.
a lot of problems with Wuthering Waves' combat system that drags it through the mud and prevents me and many from enjoying the game's combat, and by extension, its endgame content, which puts said combat under a microscope. So without any more delay, let's take a look at the endgame modes and what went wrong with them.
All right.
As with any modern gacha nowadays, you've got your boilerplate endgame mode to kick things off with Wuwa's Tower of Adversity. The only thing
For
of
sure.
note for the TOA, when compared to the other gacha games, is the 3 towers and the Vigor system, an artificial resource that limits how many times you can use a single character across all 3 towers. This is meant to add a layer of decision making to whom you use to ascend floors with. The side towers are easier than the middle tower, with 4 floors that ramp up in vigor cost by 1, 2, 3, and 4. And the middle tower being the hardest of the 3, with 2 floors that both have a vigor cost of 5. In most cases, this leaves players with 2 options. Use 3 well-built teams to separately ascend all 3 floors, or use 2 well-built teams to fight the final floor of a single side tower, followed by one of the 2 floors of the middle tower, with weaker teams clearing floors 1 through 3 of the side towers. Other than that, there's not much else to say about this mode. It's your garden variety Spiral Abyss clone that seemingly every one of these modern gacha games implement for endgame players.
I guess I just don't know. Listen, I'm not the biggest fan of TOA. I was shitting on TOA a lot when it came out. Right? Because it is like a fucking Genshin Abyss clone. It seems like it was put into the game to make Genshin people feel a little bit accustomed to the game, right? So I'm not going to sit here and defend TOA. However, I will say we was so fucking dog shit that it makes me miss Tower of Adversity. I fucking hate Wiwa. I hate Wiwa. Give me back my bi-weekly TOA, right? With that being said, I think the best thing they could do is I think the Vigor system is fine. Just separate the rovers, and I think we're cool. If they separate the rovers, bro, I'm chilling. I don't give a fuck. If you allow me to use my Spectral rover, he gets 10 Vigor. My Arrow rover gets 10, and then maybe my Havoc only gets 5. You know, whatever the case may be, they should be separated. That I will say. That I think is a very fair critique and something that they should absolutely fucking address. But I guess what he was trying to just say is that it's basic. And it definitely is basic, for sure. But I think it was smart for them, and this has been my fucking argument from the whole time. It fucking sucks. However, it's basic, and it's there to make people feel accustomed so that way they can come from Genshin Impact to come to this game. The same way how they have that in HSR. You know, they have it in Zenless Zone Zero. This is a standardized endgame. Azure Premilia is going to have this. NTE has a game mode that is literally an Abyss clone, almost 1-to-1. This is something that is done to make people feel accustomed to the game so that it's a level of familiarity to it. So, yeah. Okay. All right, okay.
You either enjoy it as an opportunity to put your teams through the ringer, or you
And feel
roll your
all of them will
eyes
have
and
it.
slog through it before
Absolutely.
the next reset for your rewards. The only thing I can really criticize about this mode is that there's no ability to auto-clear floors 1
What's up,
and
Seven?
2 of the side tower if you clear floor 3 and calculate vigor.
He made this video before, to my understanding, because he said he wrote this in I think 2.3 or something. Concerto wasn't out. Again, we'll give him absolute benefit of the doubt here. He made this prior to the update, so that's fine. You cannot auto clear 1, 2, 3. They're going to auto clear 1, 2, 3. So this is nothing.
Cost
harder.
accordingly.
Don't care.
In a majority of cases, if you were employing the strategy
care.
of clearing floors
Don't care.
1 through 3 with a weaker team to save vigor on your stronger teams, and you don't have lopsided investment to make it on an account review video, then there's no reason for you to slog through the first 2 floors if you can clear the third. That's all I got to say about this paint by numbers mode, so let's move on.
Okay, tactical holograms.
Next up, we've got the tactical holograms.
It's the only good
just
thing in the
about
game.
the most overglazed thing I've seen
Ah,
in the Wuwa
fuck,
community when
holy
it comes
shit.
to endgame content.
Oh,
A
no.
boss fight mode with 6 tiers of difficulty and a set of modifiers in the latter half meant to test your ability to perform with almost, if not completely, perfect execution of your enemy knowledge and
Yes.
team comp rotations.
Yes.
Let's get something straight right now. If I
Absolutely.
already laid out why I think Wuthering Waves' combat is bad at the top of this video, what makes you think I want to play it with a near zero margin of error for 20 asterite and a vice grip shaped scar on my post-mortem nutsack?
Crazy analogy. Love that, by the way. Okay, so here's where there is some validity. Once you beat the holograms, there's no reason to do them. And if you're not a hardcore player, you're not going to do them, right? Now, granted, my girlfriend, she was not a hardcore player, and then she wound up actually beating all of the holograms herself, right? What he is saying, though, is just really boiling down to personal preference. Again, you could absolutely critique the fact that once you clear the holograms, it's done, and there's nothing else left, and it feels like a waste because they're so much fun, right? That's what you could say. I think that's a very fair critique. But to say that, yes, you don't like the gameplay, but that doesn't mean that it has an endgame problem. That doesn't mean that there's a problem with it because you don't like it. The problem is you don't like the combat, and that's fine. That's not even a fucking problem. It's not a problem. If you don't like the combat, I think that's fair. Play ZZZ, play whatever game, you can still play WoW, obviously. But I think we're conflating a couple different things here, and instead of it being a critique based on, I don't even know if I want to say that. I mean, Arikado probably thinks that some of the information he's saying is 100% accurate, like the ultimate stuff, but this really feels more of, hey, I don't like Wuthering Waves, and here's why. And again, that is fine, but this is presented in the way of being a critique with the endgame. Yo, says, what's good, brother? I appreciate the follow, which, by the way, again, I think there is a problem with the endgame. I absolutely fucking do. I was actually very excited for this video. So, yeah, man, it really does just feel like I don't like this, and yeah. Like we're fucking almost there. We're almost there because there's some fucking good talking points. But fuck me, man.
Between
Yo, what's
Wuwa's
good,
visual
gorgeous?
clutter,
Commentating on the Hologram tournament in Wuwa. Go, bam.
awkward parry system, and strict adherence to team rotations because of the Concerto system, why would I want to bother for an eighth of a pole? And
The other thing about the holograms is, man, holograms, you don't really do great rotations. At least me. I don't. It's very rare. The hologram time window, the Shorekeeper Stellaram, it's not like a black and white canvas, right? It's not like you go in there, you have that strategy, and then you 100% stick to it. With holograms, you absolutely go through a couple different variations of things. Sometimes you fuck up, but you can still keep it going and still recover. Like Wuthering Waves, Tower of Adversity is a rotation check. I think holograms are more of a knowledge and skill check because you are able to do these things without the rotations. Also, by the way, yeah, Gore, you can definitely link it. No worries, brother. Reactive versus proactive. Yeah, you don't really like do crazy rotations unless you're doing some wild quick swap shit, right? So that's what I'm saying. It's just very, very weird, man. It's very weird. Like, again, I fucking like him so much. I do like my mans, absolutely. But this is definitely a little bit of an L take. It is a little bit of an L take because it's not a rotation thing. Honestly, you'd probably would like holograms more if you weren't sitting there and just doing the rotations. You'd probably like it a bit more if you're just doing shit.
I am confident in saying that a majority of the casual audience likely think the same way as me in this regard. So for all intents and purposes, the tactical holograms is something I will never touch. If you ask me, the Virtual Crisis limited time event that occasionally comes back every now and then is a much more interesting and nuanced
I like saying as well. I was being a dick. I fucking love the guy. I was just trolling someone.
interpretation of a boss
This
fight
is the good-
mode
this is a
with
great
wider
endgame.
variety of modifiers and
This is what the video should have been about. Wuthering Waves is lacking. Its monthly rotates fucking suck. And Virtual Crisis should be permanent. And they should bring back those 2 co-op modes. Bam. Banger video. Banger fucking video. Straight up. Banger video from that.
Reward incentives to aim for,
But
all while having a greater
we didn't do
margin
that.
of
I like
error
men,
for
same.
even my sorry ass to get a 120 rating
Same.
without making me want to tear my hair out. I don't want to hear anything
Former
about
complaint
Zenless
video is
Zone Zero
crazy.
players being sweaty when a mode like this exists in Wuthering Waves. And if
don't
your
know what this
argument is that it's okay because you can do it at any time, then sure, yeah, I can see that. Kind of like how I, at any time, can walk out my front door and start digging up the dirt in the ground and shoving it down my mouth. But you don't see me doing that ever, do you?
What the
I
fuck?
can't imagine just how frustrated the
What the
casual
fuck?
Wuma community would be if tactical
God.
holograms had reset cycles, as I'm confident that an overwhelming number of players would rather not see a helping of Asterite go up in flames because they don't have enough screws loose to want to get one-shot 20 times every few weeks.
dude, I think people would love that. I think people would fucking love it. The holograms would have reset. Like, that's one of the biggest pieces of feedback I've seen since the game fucking dropped, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think, man. It just seems like he doesn't like a lot of the things from Wua, and I think that's fine. Right? It just comes off, though, very uninformed. And that is the problem with this video, because the game is not perfect in any stretch of the imagination. It's really not. It's probably the best thing we have on the market. You could say this or ZZZ, whichever one, pick your poison. But, like, damn, I really had high expectations on this one. I really had high expectations. I believe replayability for that. Absolutely, Jay. Absolutely. I think a lot of people have been asking for that. I do. And the one thing I'll even give them, you know, like the holograms. I actually don't like the new hologram setting. I hate the fact that they don't have unique backgrounds anymore. And yes, it's a little bit more convenient that they're all in one place. Dude, I fucking love traveling to each hologram. Like, straight up, I'm going to be honest with you. I loved having each hologram somewhere different, a little bit of a TP close next to it. You have a different background. Like, I think there is so many things we can complain about, but I just don't see some of these things. Like, again, it's not a rotation check. It's not. Whimpering Wastes,
Lastly,
absolutely
we have
failure.
Whimpering
100%.
Wastes. And let's be
Absolutely.
honest here, Wee-Wa
Save the day here.
not had a positive reputation for
100%.
many since its initial release.
Without a doubt.
From its abysmal token system
Dog shit.
to its enemy behavior breaking
Dog shit.
formations, straggler enemies making you waste time, or ultimates to wipe up.
Wait, let me pull up these two chats. Hold on. What's up? What up, Arvin? What up, baby? Wait, I wanna see. All right, so Called said, "Real talk is easy to combat as crisp and snappier than Woo in terms of animation at the time, but mechanical-wise, Woo was definitely superior." I can definitely see why someone would feel that way for sure. Absolutely. Bring Infinite Tower, bring Crisis, bring Co-op, bring HP Inflation to open world, and boost cycle drop rates according because fuck words are hopping. Add a hologram clash. Only way I can feel anything is playing 4 stars because it's the only time I feel a challenge of the game. Bring lifestyle. Bosses can be high 4 stars. Banner disappearing event. Yeah, no, I mean we definitely need more shit. We absolutely need more shit.
Clear it.
Zenless Zone Zero has a massive big up because of Endless Tower. Endless Tower is fucking amazing. Like both Endless Tower modes are really fucking solid. I just don't like my asthma. Gore, I appreciate the follow, brother. Thank you, man. I don't like my asthma. With that being said, though, Endless Tower has so much fucking it's fun. It's just fun, and it's something that could literally be played endlessly. That's why it's an Endless Tower, right? And with Wee-Wa, what I don't like about Wee-Wa is he's right on this, right? To me, the one thing I've said from the jump, the best way, in my opinion, to fix a big portion of the problems with Wee-Wa is you have one floor that's AoE based, and then you have another floor where, like, it's a cluster of fucking enemies, bro. It's like a cluster of fucking enemies, like it's 3 or 4 elites. You know how sometimes they spawn those 3 rock motherfuckers? Well, the second floor, have it like that. That way people who don't have 2 rounds of multi-AoE wave are not punished. So forgetting even the tokens and all that dog shit, you know, there, because there's a lot to shit on with the tokens and the HP inflation and shilling the units and stuff. Just that's one of the great ways to sit down and fix that. right? You fix the whole fucking AoE situation by making one of the sides a little bit less AoE focused. I feel like that's such a good fucking solution, but you know, it is what it is, man. What can you do? And then also on top of the token system's just fucking horrible. That shit's just ass, man. I ain't gonna lie to you. Token system is just fucking. They've done a bad job with the tokens. All of the tokens should be fucking permanent. You wanna shield the newer tokens, make them a little bit more powerful, but there's no reason why we're rotating, especially the crit damage tokens out so often. Like that game mode has so many fucking flaws. It's actually one of my least enjoyable modes, and that's why I love TOA so much now, because I ate shit with Wiwa. And I appreciated TOA. So he's not wrong. TOA is fucking. Wiwa's ass. Oh, it was always good. Saint was good, brother. Welcome in, man.
Advantages to units with
How you feeling,
AoE and grouping skills, and
Absolutely
now
buns.
some
Absolutely
egregious
buns.
HP inflation.
Welcome in, dog.
Whimpering Wastes for many was a mode that was dead on arrival, and any attempts to salvage it has been the equivalent of polishing a turd. I
True.
don't know how you can take the simple concept of giving players a power fantasy by facing off against hordes of enemies and manage to screw it up so spectacularly as Kuro games have done continually with Whimpering Wastes.
This one power token?
Yet
Exactly,
they've
Milk.
somehow
Exactly.
done it, and it remains to be seen as a forever black mark on the content offerings of Wuthering Waves, one
Wuthering
that players
Waves.
must regularly contend with as it's a primary
rotation's a little
source
crazy.
of premium currency. To wrap this up with a nice
Rotation's a
little
little
bow,
crazy, brother.
the endgame content of Wuthering Waves has failed to present players with a meaningful
fuck.
experience to
Oh,
its
fuck, bro. I feel like Saint, bro. I feel like Saint right now. Fuck me, man. We're supposed to do that while the Stellar Realm is up. Ladies and gentlemen. Oh,
wider audience without coming up short or outright failing its execution. Tower of Adversity is an ancient relic of Kuro's days of living under the shadow of Genshin Impact.
It's just
Tactical
B-roll.
holograms are
I
an
know.
overhyped content creator
I know.
magnet that offers too little
I know.
in exchange for too much frustration.
I know,
and
I
Whimpering
guess.
Wastes should have
I
never
know.
left the cutting room floor.
I agree
For
on
how
that
much the
one. I ain't
Wuba
gonna lie to
community
you.
brags about having little to no HP inflation, they sure don't seem to care if their endgame content is even fun to play to begin with. So long as they can point out a line going up and shout from the mountaintops, Hoyo bad.
Oh, no, bro. Oh, my God, man. Dude, it's just like... It's just like unnecessarily... It's just like unnecessarily cringe right there. You know what I mean? Like that one line just makes me feel like this was, oh man. Fuck me, bro. Fuck me, brother. That one line just kind of makes me feel like this video feels like a, I don't know. I don't want to say, look, I don't want to assume the guy's intentions, right? I don't want to assume the guy's intentions because I think he's a good dude and I think he is an honest guy. But it just feels like a video where it's like, okay, let me try to make a video to kind of get back at the community. That at least that's how this line comes off. It just comes off a little fucking cringe. Yo, it's Ganahi, how are you? And yeah. Yeah, you know what I mean? Like that one ain't it, man. That's so crazy, bro. Yo, that's insane. Nah, son, that's wild, bro. That is wild, man. Hold up. Yeah, if I'm being honest, it comes off as y'all shit on the game I like. I'm gonna take my pound of flesh when it's convenient to do so. And again, bro, like I understand because, like, look, he doesn't need to like the game, right? Like, again, his concerto talking points, I don't necessarily agree with personally, but it doesn't matter because that's his opinion, and his opinion is fine, right? It's okay to have that opinion, But it's then when you go into these other parts where it's like complaining about the ultimate timers, we're talking about how the holograms, there is problem with the holograms. The problem is after you fucking clear them, there's nothing to fucking do. But they're not these mass rotation things. There is some issues with the TOA where you do need Rover. Rover needs more vigor, and we need fucking other things. It's just, but like, yeah, it just, I don't know, man. It feels a little shitty. Feels like a little bit of a shitty video, man.
Except that's not even true anymore for Womp Womp. And with that, I have said all I really wanted to about Wuthering Waves' endgame content and why it's holding this game back. So long as I'm a content creator that resides within the Z.
Yeah, it's not like the combat is not holding the game back. The combat is fine. The combat's actually amazing. But again, your opinion is fine if you don't like the combat. But we're talking about endgame being bad. It's not because of the combat. It's not. It's because of the fact that Whimpering Wastes is a badly designed game mode and there's nothing fucking else to do. So
ECC community, I doubt my opinions will ever be taken seriously. But that's okay. At the end of the day, whatever happens to Wuthering Waves
what's
will
good,
have no
Onyx? What up,
effect on
baby?
me, and I can continue
What
to
up,
play
brother?
the actual game that has my full attention. And seeing as how ZZZ already took some of the best aspects of WoW's roguelite mode, while they at the same time sunsetted their own in favor of an objective downgrade, I'm all for the supposed third wheel of Hoyoverse games to continue to improve and refine their game, while the darling child of Kuro proceeds to watch on as we do so. But until then, this has been Arikado Zodan, and I'm clocking out.
that was a 1-star clear. Was that a 1-star clear?
And I'm clocking out.
Oh, all right. I mean, listen, guys, be nice. You know, I still fuck Arikado heavily. Obviously, he's still a homie. 7 out of 10. Yeah, 7 out of 10. That was a video, man. That was a video. It's come to my attention that 2.6 live stream covered the auto clear function. Okay. Is there anything else? Lackluster sound design, holograms are challenge. Long liberation is definitely a thing. Does anyone say that the time freezes? Does anyone if you observe the timer in TOA, liberation animation doesn't affect the timer. So if they ult, are they wasting time? Yes, if you ult and get to the timer still going down. He did acknowledge that in text. If he was aware of it, it shouldn't have been in the video. Because it gives him a bad look. Right? If he is aware that the ult does not affect the time, then you should have removed it. Because now it just gives people more of a reason to shit on you. So he realized in a post I would have re-recorded. Absolutely. So, I mean, it is what it is. It's a video. It's definitely a video, and I'll see you boys in the next one. Mwah.